Hello and welcome to my talk for this week. As the war in Ukraine continues, the reality has been brought home to me a little more this week because a family in one of our congregations has relatives trapped in a besieged city. As I write, the people here have no idea about what is happening to their loved ones, and this must be the case for many watching the conflict from the outside. As we have seen events unfold on our TV screens, we have watched the best and the worst of our human character on display. The violence and terror of war, and the compassion we have for each other when people are displaced. It's always disconcerting for me to see these parts of us so vividly displayed alongside each other. As we have seen throughout history, the impact of war is often not felt by those who decide to wage it. It's the people doing the fighting on the ground, those who live on the battlefields, and the refugees who bear the burden and the brunt of decisions often made thousands of miles from where they live. Some of the saddest scenes this week have been those involving children. For the younger ones, there is little or no understanding of what is happening to them. Less than a month ago, life was normal. They were at school or playing with their friends. Now they're on the road, and often their fathers have been left behind to defend their communities. Perhaps the most heart-wrenching interview I heard this week was with a 14-year-old girl. As the reporter asked questions, she just burst into uncontrollable sobs. She told him that her parents had decided to send her to safety whilst they remained behind. All she wanted was to go home and to have back the life that she'd left behind. I'm sure there are many distressing stories amongst ordinary Russians too. Soldiers who don't want to be on the front line, and families who are worried for their loved ones. The somewhat shared history of Russia and Ukraine means that families are intermarried, which I'm sure brings its own heartache. Ironically, along with the book I recommended for Lent to the diocese, I'm also reading Looking East in Winter, Contemporary Thought and the Eastern Christian Tradition, by the former Archbishop of Canterbury, Rowan Williams. In it he points to the love which binds the Trinity and flows out into creation. He says that in the Eastern tradition, the unity of the Trinity is understood more comprehensively than in the Western. So what am I learning from Williams? I think the truth is that we must look beyond humanity to see humanity. The essence of God is love. Each person of the Trinity gazes upon the others in love, and that is the binding power of existence. In ourselves and others we see glimpses of this, but it's as we gaze upon the triune God in love that God's love can change us as we are enfolded into it. There we become part of the community and can begin to be united in the oneness we were intended for, and which Jesus makes possible. Once again, thank you for listening. I trust that you'll have a good week. God bless, and stay safe.